What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some more Fusion Cup practice battles. And in this video, I'm going to be using Heracross in a bunch of these battles. These battles are against one of my patrons, Good Little Squid. Huge shout out to him for supporting the channel. He's getting super good at battling, definitely. And I'd like to dedicate this video to my friend Wei, known as Couch Amigo in the game, for absolutely making me rage quit last night when he swept me using Heracross. Oh my goodness. Granted, it was pretty late at night and I was getting ready to go to bed, but he brings in a Heracross and it just absolutely wrecked me like 3 games in a row. So I figure, you know what, I'm going to look into Heracross a little bit more and put a quick video together. So these are 5 battles, I believe, where I'm using Heracross. Now, when using Heracross, the benefits of using Heracross, it has access to counter, which is an amazing fast move in general. You're going to be able to absolutely farm down the tanks like Probopass and the Ice-type users. Counter is an amazing move. It also has access to close combat now, which after the update, if you're able to stack close combats, which I believe it takes 13 counters to do, you can put out some insane damage. One thing you have to be aware of is anytime you use close combat, your defense is going to be dropped significantly. But so that way, if you stack them back to back, you can just throw them back to back and not suffer the consequences of having your defense dropped. One thing I really like about Heracross is actually running Earthquake on it instead of Megahorn. And as you'll see in some of these matches, if you run Earthquake, one of the Pokemon that's going to counter you pretty well is Alolan Marowak. And with Earthquake, you can one-shot an Alolan Marowak, which I'm actually able to do in some of these matches. Feels very satisfying. Another thing you need to watch out for is Heracross is going to be weak to the Charmers, it's going to be weak to the Confusion users like Bronzong, and it's double weak to flying attacks. So Noctowl, not going to be looking super great. But at least with those close combats, you're going to be hitting for very strong neutral damage. So that is something to consider. Good Little Squid is running a Cloyster on his team. And Heracross has a very favorable matchup against that. That counter damage is absolutely insane. Another benefit of using Heracross is because of its bug typing, you resist other fighting type attacks, so like Dynamic Punch from Poliwrath, and you also resist ground type attacks, so these Mud Bombs from Whiscash, as you're seeing here. This is a much more favorable matchup for me because I'm able to resist the Mud Bombs. One thing you also have to be aware of with Heracross is that it is very glassy. It is not tanky at all. And so some things that are going to be hitting you for neutral damage, you might have to commit a shield, especially if you're going to stack the close combats. You're definitely going to be having to commit a shield in there, but you'll most likely be able to win that matchup. So here's an example right here. Alolan Marowak is a good answer to Heracross. I believe on PvPoke it recommends Megahorn as the secondary charge move, but as you just saw there, I nuked that Alolan Marowak with an Earthquake. Most people do not expect the Earthquake to come through. I think it's a great move, and actually, if I were to run Heracross, I would prefer Earthquake over Megahorn. I just can't see too many situations where I would want to go for Megahorn other than close combat or Earthquake. So I love Earthquake for that threat it has on Alolan Marowak, and most people do not see it coming. So Heracross, man, on my team of 6 that I have been running, I am running Noctowl, Bronzong, and Alolan Marowak as my 3 checks to Heracross. But then my other 3 were Whiscash, Shiftry, and Cloyster. That's been my line of 6 that I've been running a lot. And even though I had 3 solid checks to Heracross, that thing just, oh my goodness. Wei was absolutely destroying me with it. That close combat is almost always going to draw a shield because of how strong it is, unless you're paired up against like an Alolan Marowak, and then you have that access to Earthquake, which is really nice. So because of that lead scenario, I make a fast swap into my Shiftry. Again, in this mirror match, Leaf Blade is the way to go. It's more energy efficient. It's just a better move in general. And both of the charge attacks are going to be resisted anyways. So I'm just going straight Leaf Blade here. Shift Tree, if your opponent is not running a Charm user and not running Heracross, I feel like is a decent safe switch in this cup. Its energy generation with Snarl is amazing, and Foul Play is going to be hitting neutral on a lot of stuff in this meta, especially against your hardest counters, like the Flyers. Foul Play is still a very strong move with Shift Tree's major attack stat, so you're going to be able to at least draw shields or even flip some of those matchups if they are too slow to switch in. Heracross is an absolute wall to Shift Tree. It is insane. You can just purely counter it down. You're going to resist everything that it throws at you, and then you're going to end up with a lot of energy banked, and it's just amazing. Heracross is a really great answer to Shift Tree. Now at this point, I let this go through. Again, because of my bug typing, I resisted that Bone Club, which was really great. I'm just going for the Psyshock here. Psyshock is going to be hitting neutral on Alolan Marowak, and it's a good move. This confusion damage really adds up. He's got a Cloyster in the back, so I need to get off this Psyshock before the Icy Wind comes through and debuffs my attack. Cloyster is really annoying to deal with, but I'm still not completely sold that I want to use it on my team of 6. Right now it's a toss-up between Cloyster or Wigglytuff. And surprisingly, they both fulfill similar roles. The thing that I'm not super convinced with Wigglytuff is I hate that it gets walled by all of the tanks. Because even if you're in a situation where you're able to farm down like a Shift Tree or a fighting type, they're obviously going to bring in a tank after that. And so then all that energy you stored is pretty much useless because they're going to resist every charge move that you throw at them. So I don't know. I think Charmers are good in this meta, but again, this meta feels very hard countery. So there doesn't seem to be anything safe in this cup. This just does not feel like a very safe cup, in my opinion at least. So a lot of risk involved. Again, I talked a little bit about in that last video about like a sacrificial swap strategy. Where essentially you just bring in a Pokemon if you have a bad lead, bring it in to try to bait out a Pokemon that you can eventually farm down. But I really don't like strategies like that where I have to sacrifice an entire Pokemon just to try to combat a bad lead. So I don't know. I feel like one good technique in this cup is always try to leave your Pokemon with very little health after you win a matchup. Because most likely something's going to be coming in that is just an absolute wall of that and is going to farm you. This seems like a very farmy cup, very hard countery and very farmy. In comes that Alolan Marowak. I charge up a little bit of energy. Going to go straight for the Blizzard here. He still has 2 shields. I'm hoping he does not shield this. This goes through. That was a very big play for me. Puts my Whiscash in a better scenario because now I can just go straight Mud Bomb and apply a lot of shield pressure here. I correctly shield the Blizzard as well, which is an even bigger play for me. Again, going straight for the Mud Bomb because he's up 2 shields. I need to apply a lot of shield pressure at this point. Able to get to this next Mud Bomb. He still has a shield remaining though. There goes the last shield. I'm assuming he's just building up to another Blizzard. That would definitely be the correct play, especially since I'm completely out of shields. Lands the Blizzard and makes a good switch into Alolan Marowak, but this Mud Bomb's going to be hitting it for super effective damage. This is most likely going to be a Bone Club, but I think it's still going to be enough to take me out. Yep. In comes my Heracross. And I'm able to land another Earthquake because shields are down and I banked some energy in this thing. Really good for me. Earthquake goes through. In comes the Whiscash. I know I can resist Mud Bomb, but Heracross is not that tanky at all. And actually, that might have been the match where I made like a horrible accidental switch, or that might be the match that's coming up here, maybe. I don't think it's this one. It might have been that last match. I might have completely missed it. But let me know what you guys think of Heracross. That double weakness to flyers is definitely something to be cautious of, and your weakness to charmers, and your weakness to confusion users. But man, that resistance that you get from against Whiscash and counter damage to totally wreck the tanks and the ice types, I don't know, something to consider. Let me know if Heracross has worked out for you. If you would like to battle with me and be featured in these videos, head on over to patreon.com/fpsticks. I have a new laptop and camera that should be arriving in the mail tomorrow. Very excited about that because I'll be able to pump out videos a lot faster. With my current setup, that Timeless Tournament video that I was making, it took a total of 40 hours to create. And let me tell you, it wasn't from like my slow editing. I edit pretty fast, but my laptop's processor was just very slow, so I had to get an upgrade. And I've been using my iPhone to record all this stuff, so expect some better audio. I bought a camcorder that can shoot up to 4K, which is major overkill for what I need to do, but it also comes with a external mic, so the audio should be a little bit better. But again, if you want to support my channel, head on over to Patreon and you can battle with me and get on my friends list as well. Definitely appreciate the support. And another kind of final shout out is I broke 1,000 subscribers, which is really great. I think I've been posting videos for about 2 months now and just trying to stay really consistent with the grind, posting every day. And I really appreciate everyone's support. And I did not think that I'd be able to get to 1,000 subscribers this fast, but I'm totally honored that you guys enjoy this content, and I really love making these videos for you all. So please continue to support the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, but you've kind of been lurking in the shadows, make sure to click that subscribe button. It really helps out. I think that's all the announcements I got going on. Just continuing this grind, trying to figure out the Fusion Cup. Again, feels very hard countery to me. I have not locked in a very specific strategy yet for this cup, and I have my first tournament coming up this Saturday. With Empoleon getting released, that's definitely going to cause a shift in the meta, so be looking out for that. But if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out a lot. Stay tuned for some more Fusion Cup videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.